Good morning, good morning. We were just trying to figure out where the lens was for the camera and we found it. So this is me, you know me, Sophie, and here is Kris.
Hello, good morning.
Who some of you know and some of you may not know. So I met Kris at the Springboard to Success event because she had a stand there. And we thought as she was staying here, because we went to Mark Wentworth's workshop yesterday and today she's coming along to our Ladies That Plan lunch, that I might as well utilise her brain and do some things on mindset for you guys in the group. So I'll let, Kris... Don't you love it when your phone does stuff like that? I'll let Kris do a little introduction. She doesn't know she's going to do that, so it's a bit of a surprise. And then we will start covering some of the questions that you guys asked in the group.
So good morning. I am Kris. Thank you, Sophie. I am Kris. I'm a leadership, mindset and clarity coach, and I help women go from being small, thinking small, into taking a leap of faith into being big entrepreneurs that they dream of being. So I actually help them with a mindset to get from A to B and jump into it. So mindset is my thing, and so hopefully today you can help a little bit with
Some stuff.
Exactly. So
Karen says how she needs help getting out of your own head while you're growing the business. So I think this is quite a common problem.
Yeah, it's a big problem, especially for women, because instantly we put up lots of blocks and fears and fears that, oh my God, what if I actually am successful? Or straight away when you put something in place, all these little voices in your head start arguing with yourself. So we either pack it in, or we stop moving forward, or we end up going backwards. So for that, you need to identify what these blocks and fears actually are. Once you've identified them, you need to dig deep sometimes, and when you've actually identified them, you need to acknowledge them, realize what it is, and basically just move on. It's actually very, very simple. If you dwell on it, keep it in the, bring up the past all the time, it's not going to go away. So if you can actually work out what that thing is, and what I say to my clients is if you can journal on it and ask yourself why, and very often you have these instant, that's why. So you know why, you don't need that anymore. So leave it there and move on. But you need constant mindset work. I need constant mindset work every day, and this is hence why I found it so powerful for my business. So I work on my mindset every day. There's all sorts of stuff comes out, but I need to work on that every day, and that is what I recommend for everybody, because we all do it.
Yeah, yesterday at the colour workshop, there were so many moments where we sat there and all of us at different times just saying, oh, that just makes so much sense. I now understand a little bit more. And it's not just, I'm not saying, oh, you've missed out on the colour workshop, but that happens with everything. So you can read a book and have a massive realisation, can't you? You can go on a workshop, you can listen to something you've listened to 10 times before, and just in that moment, something the light bulb goes on.
Yeah, just something clicks.
It's that constant reevaluation, isn't it?
Yeah, and you've got to do it, and whatever that means for you, you've got to do it. Sometimes you've got to revisit things, and it can be very painful. And mindset work for me at times has been, I'll be honest, for the first few months, all I did was cry. But you've got to, because you realise these things, and it hits you, and sometimes it hits you like an absolute battering ram, but thank God you realise why that is. So, well, I don't need that anymore. Do I actually need that feeling in my life? See how it feels. What feelings bring that up for you? And as we were shown yesterday, what colour does that look like to you? And what colour then can you give it to make it a better feeling? So you're removing that bad feeling and giving it a better feeling. Something I also do with my clients is if they can't move forward, if they can think of a time in their lives where they felt really, really good, they felt so, whatever it is, excited, really good about themselves, and embrace that feeling. And then the next time that they're feeling overwhelmed, or, they just can't move on with something, remember to embrace that feeling. And by doing that, you change it again. Yeah. And if it means putting on your favourite music and having a silly dance around for 5 minutes or whatever like that, just do it, evaluate, embrace, and move on.
Because it's a bit, obviously when we're growing businesses, we do have both, don't we? Because we can say, fearful of what happens if we succeed, fearful of what happens if we fail, fearful of the fear.
Yes,
of the fear,
yeah.
Great. Good old brains.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So some of those sorts of feelings that you might be having in terms of growing the business, and so we were talking yesterday, I think sometimes as well it's about identifying what it is that we're actually scared of, because I was saying that when I think about growing a business, I often think about people who I've met who have massive businesses and they're stressed and they're rushed and they've got all this stuff happening, and I think, I don't want to be that sort of a person. So therefore that is a mindset thing for me, saying success equals stressed, rushed, all this stuff. I don't want that. So therefore you're holding yourself back from that, whereas in actual fact your success can look like whatever your success looks like, because success is individual.
Yes, and you're preempting something that hasn't even happened yet. So, and we all do it. Yeah. And we all do it. And so whatever success might mean to you, you might look at someone else and, like you say, that they've become this or they're that and they're that. That's a conditioned belief. And it doesn't have to be like that. It's purely your choice. So again, you can journal on that and find out what comes up. And I was actually doing that for myself as well, in other businesses that I've had, where I get to a point and I was paying the bills and I think, that's fine, I don't need to do it anymore. But my ambitions were way, way, way up there. And I sat journaling one day and realised it's because I thought I had to become completely ruthless to be a successful business owner, because that's what I'd learned. And I realised, no, I'm not that person and I don't have to be like that. So it's a pure choice. From that moment, I made that change. I can have it. I can have it.
It can be whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
And I think we get surrounded, don't we? Especially once you start going down the route of looking at mindset and personal development, if you're new to it all, it can just become this sea of stuff.
Yeah, minefield.
And you just think, wow, I don't know which one. And there's all these people saying, you can be successful like me. And they are the globalpreneurs. So they're the ones who are sitting on a beach on their laptop. We only work for half an hour a day and, we do all this stuff and we're hugely successful. And then we think that success means sitting on a beach and travelling, which then is a disconnect, because you actually might feel really content just being at home with the kids, or maybe a success for you could be having enough money to pay for the children to go to private school, or to have enough money so that you can get your nails done once every couple of weeks. For other people, success might be turning over a multi-million-pound business and having 500 members of staff. It's just so individual, isn't it? And I think we can do compare-itis, where you start looking at what success is for other people, and then you feel bad that yours doesn't necessarily look like that yet.
So you've got to look at why that makes you feel like that. And so whatever success is for you is a success for somebody else. It can be completely different. So you need to identify what success means to you, and then decide how you're going to get there. So a lot of us work from, again, this conversation we were having earlier, work from a pain point, and which is great because it's what drives us forward, because we don't want to be in that situation anymore. And it's a fact that apparently 80% of us will work from a pain point to get us elevated and on the road to changing that.
Have you seen Tony Robbins on that?
No.
In his Get the Edge series, it's like a DVD thing. Yeah. And he says, you need to get pain to be able to move. So he's saying, if you are there's no point. If you're fat, he says, you're fat. He says, you don't need someone to say, oh, we can help you. He said, you need someone behind you chasing you, going, run, you're fat, run, you're fat.
Well, that's exactly.
He said, you've got to feel that pain. He said, sometimes you've got to look in the mirror and you've got to go, oh, you're just so disgusting. Which is controversial, because some people would say not, but here's on that particular thing, it's if you get to a point where you're so much against it, that it triggers you to then say, I've had enough.
Exactly.
And I've got the grit to be able to make those changes to do that stuff.
Yeah, and which is a fantastic place. So you've got to recognise that.
But it's tricky.
Yes.
Pain is a tricky space.
Pain is a tricky space. But you've got to be willing to make that transition. And it's a good place then to move forward from, because you know it can only get better. But what you eventually need to become is actually looking at it from a place of pleasure. Too many P's in that. A place of pleasure, because we don't all want to be coming from a place of pain consistently, because what will happen, unless you get rid of that place of pain, you'll go backwards. And this is what happens when people are continually going backwards to that place of pain, and they become a victim of their own everything going on around them. So you're just going backwards and backwards and backwards. And the definition of that is insanity, isn't it, by all accounts? So, which I was doing for a long time. I was doing that for a long time. But I now look forward.
Which comes back to self-sabotage, doesn't it?
Self-sabotage,
And that's the success thing again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you say, right, I'm in pain, and I say in pain, it doesn't necessarily mean pain.
No.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm not happy to stand for this anymore.
Life is,
So therefore, I'm going to make that change, and then you make that change, and then the fear kicks in if I'm not worthy of this change.
Yeah.
So therefore, you should go back, and you get into the pain, and I think it's a bit like masochism.
It is. Yeah.
And then sometimes
it's
getting to the goal, and then because you've not got anything else past that as another goal, you then think, well, I've hit my goal, so therefore I kind of need to go back, so I'm working towards that goal again.
Yes, yeah, because you
it's
feel
part
comfortable.
Of who I am,
but you've got to have something to move you forward.
I've always struggled with that.
Yes.
That's who I am.
Yes,
I just always struggle with that.
So why be in a place of struggle? That doesn't feel nice at the end of the day. But struggling all the time doesn't feel nice. So one of the things I do with my clients, especially when I'm working one-to-one with them, is I ask them where they want to be in 3 years' time. What does that version of themselves look like in 3 years' time, or when they have everything in place that they want? So what success means to them, how they want to show up. So whether that means so for me, it's being in control of me, not everything else being in control of me. And I want to show up confident. And that so whatever it is that you want in your life. So then you've got to think of what have I been doing to get myself there. So it's almost like a bit of an out-of-body experience. So you're going forward. Again, we did a similar thing with colour yesterday. Yeah. You're going forward, seeing into your future, having this perfect day, this perfect life. So I'm not stressed. I'm in control of my time. I'm only working 3 days a week. I'm not working at all. Whatever it is that you want to be having your life in 3 years' time, and then looking backwards and see how you got there, and then start by putting things into place now that you can actually physically change now. One of which for me was, I get up, whatever, I do all my mindset work, and have a cup of coffee, and then I'm going to speak to my VA and check in with all the things that she's been doing, and think, do you know what? I can actually get a VA now to help me move towards that. And that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And that was one thing I did.
And it doesn't have to be working full time. I'm going to get a VA to work on half an hour a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Then next month I'll do an hour. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can make subtle changes now and move towards that place of pleasure. If you move towards a place of pleasure, you will elevate your feelings and everything else, and everything just falls into place.
You're getting into flow, you're using your law of attraction.
Yeah, and it works.
We were saying yesterday that when you get stuck on something, don't you? And then when you... because there was quite a few of us yesterday, and we were doing some decision making, and some of them were quite challenging. Mine was quite challenging, so I didn't really want to make that decision, but I forced myself into it. But you kind of sit there, don't you, and you say, well, I don't know how this is going to happen, and then we were saying, well, the funny thing is when you're in that point, if you just embrace it and just say, this is what I want to do, it's amazing what happens.
Yes.
Speaking, if you just say, I want to become a speaker, it's amazing how many people start asking you to speak at a networking event or to do this thing, and you've not done anything different. You've not even put on your Facebook that you do speaking, but it's just weird, and it's the whole Raz thing. It's because you're suddenly open to and looking for those opportunities, and when they present themselves, the choice then is, do I action it, or do I stay where I am?
Yes, so you got to go back to, right, okay, this is what I actually wanted. Why am I feeling like this? Yeah. So if it's a case of it's uncomfortable, you need to push your boundaries, then I always believe that's a good thing. Pushing yourself out your comfort zone is very often the only way you're going to get forward and get to that place. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, you've got to go back and look at, is this what I actually want? So go back to your 3-year plan and go back to what you actually want. And if it still is, then you've just got to do it. You just do it. Yeah. Simple as.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Because everything, I know it's a cliche, but everything good is on the other side of fear, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And you can have whatever you want. And in my vocabulary, there's no such word as impossible. It actually breaks down as I'm possible.
Yeah.
So everything is possible. So have we got...
We kind of covered quite a few things.
I think we
there.
have, actually. Yeah, I think we
but
have.
I think that takes us nicely. Kelly was saying about dealing with roller coaster emotions when you're a business owner. So it's kind of like you're bipolar, and I can definitely resonate with that.
Certainly.
There are days, at least once a month, when I feel like, and I've shared it very honestly in the group, that I feel like I'm terrible at what I do. Everything is pointless. What on earth am I thinking? And maybe I ought to do something. But I think even to the point where I don't even want to do anything else. I just want to go and hide in a corner somewhere with a tub of Haagen-Dazs. And not have any human interaction.
Well, but we all
just
do.
let it all go away.
Yeah, but we all do that, and whether on whatever scale it is.
Or why can't there just be a fairy godmother at this point that goes,
yeah,
and then
exactly.
You've got $500,000 in the bank, and everyone loves you.
Because it doesn't work like that. Yeah. It doesn't work. You've got to work for what you want at the end of the day, and you can be your own fairy godmother.
Yeah,
because it's all a choice.
Yeah.
So look in the mirror, do some mirror work. Look in the mirror and tell yourself how brilliant you are. It's very powerful.
Uncomfortable thing to do.
It's very uncomfortable, and it's a bit like with the first time you actually put a video up or go live. I always recommend if you're going to do live, do lives rather than videos, because you'll go back and relook at the videos and go, oh, I don't like my accent. I don't like, the fact I'm looking older. And
you look at photos, don't you?
Do I do that? And I know I talk on my hands all the time, so I got to sit on my hands, and then realise that that's me criticising me. Other people haven't even noticed these things because they're listening to you. So you got to get past that.
I was watching the Springboard videos back the other day, and I realised that I close my eyes a lot. So I'm there, and I'm going, close my eyes. I probably shouldn't tell you, because you'll now notice every time I shut my eyes.
Yes, exactly.
But I've worked so hard on presentation skills since I started going to BNI, Breakfast Networking, in 2003. Standing there, they used to say, who wants us to critique their 60 seconds? And I would go, me. And they'd go, okay, come up. And I'd do my 60 seconds, and they would rip me apart. It would be, you're doing this, you're flailing your arms, you're moving too much, you're blinking, you're not looking at us, you're looking at the floor. And I would take notes and go, okay, right, I've got to work on that. I know I need to stop saying You'll normally hear me say instead of because I try not to, and I find myself doing it. And I was quite pleased watching Springboard back. I didn't say
well done.
anywhere near as much as I thought I might have done. But that's taken years of being really conscious of it and really trying hard to pause instead of saying And when you feel the coming, pausing, because it's hard. It's really hard. It's not easy.
Well, it's
in
like
any way, shape, or
anything,
form.
isn't it? It's being aware of something.
Yeah.
And it's then recognising that you're then doing it. And then doing something about it. And that is for everything.
Yeah.
It's the mindset of all of a sudden. And last week I had one morning, I was on such a massive high. And I do real highs. I got a massive high. but everything that goes up has to come down. So in the afternoon, I was absolutely bang on the floor, and I had to. Now I recognise that, and whereas I used to think, oh my God, this is obviously I'm doing this all wrong, and I'm failing, I'm useless.
Because one person said something that was vaguely...
or looked at you the wrong way, and I said, bang,
she looked at me.
Down I gone.
I don't think she likes me. Oh my God, no one likes me.
Yeah, exactly. Self-esteem, all these things that have built up over years come flying back in one bang. But again, you have a choice. You have a choice whether you want to go back there. I don't want to go back there. So I now know what I need to do. So I meditate. That instantly grounds me. Whether it's for 2 minutes or whatever I need that day.
Even if it's just deep breathing. 5 deep breaths.
5 deep breaths, because as soon as you start breathing deeply into your stomach, you're actually pressing onto your vagus nerve, which helps to relax your brain. But if it's the fact that I need guided meditations, I've got to get out of my brain because... it's hard. So even if it's a 2-minute meditation that I have a guided meditation, it helps. Journaling, that's the other thing. I'm really, really powerful, passionate about journaling and reminding myself. And I've got affirmations written up. So I go back to my affirmations, and whether it means looking in the mirror. And if they actually don't feel right when you're reading them, go back and reword them. So it's all about reframing all the time. And then you sort of think, oh God.
Having said that, some of the ones that you want to feel, you know the wording's right, that still feels awkward.
Awkward.
But that's because you're not used to it.
Yeah, you're not used to it. So I start all my affirmations with I am, and that it's happening now, and attach an emotion to it. So you've got to get excited. You've got to get the feeling about it that it's actually happened. If I can't convince myself that I am is right, I put I choose. So one of my affirmations at the moment is I choose to be a size 10. I'm still not 100% convinced of that one. So I know I got to do more work on that one.
Yeah.
But it works. It's what takes you to then be grounded, whether it's the fact that you've got to then put your feet up for the rest of the day, whether it's the fact that you've just got to go for a walk, get out of your headspace, whether it's like ring a friend, look, really, I've got a meltdown, let me get it out, let's have a cup of coffee, whatever it is for you, whether it's a binge on Netflix, whatever it is for you to get you out of that headspace, think, right, that's fine, we've done that, tomorrow or whatever it is, in half an hour, we'll start again. But you've got to sometimes breathe.
It's a choice, isn't it?
Everything's a choice.
And I think one of the biggest things is becoming conscious of how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to get swept up in all that emotion, isn't it?
Yeah, oh God.
And then you don't really, you're kind of already 2 hours in and you haven't realised, and then suddenly you think, I'm being really aggressive.
Okay.
Or, you know,
warning me.
Yeah, the other day I was like, oh, I think it's coming towards that time of the month because anything that anyone says to me is annoying me.
Yeah, and that's right.
And it's irrational. I can sit there thinking, normally this wouldn't annoy me, but today it's really annoying me. And I'm not saying anything, but it's logged.
As soon as you open your mouth, it's like, and
will you stop scratching? It's really annoying me.
Yeah. But then you have that sudden realisation, oh God, I'm doing that again. Yeah.
But again, that's practice makes better.
Yes, exactly.
It's getting used to becoming conscious of, how am I feeling right now? So maybe checking in every hour for a day would be good.
Yeah.
How am I feeling right now?
How are you feeling?
Write it down.
Yeah, and you can actually put that as a reminder in your phone.
Yeah.
Because time goes on and we get involved in Facebook and stuff. So put a reminder in your phone. Put post-it notes around the house. Whatever it takes that you need to fix, you need to change, have constant reminders. I've got books, I've got self-development books all over the house. I've got notebooks. I have my planner. I've got notebooks all over the house. So if I have an idea or something, I just pick it up and I can write it. So my brain is all over the shop. So mindset is a big thing in my life. But it needs to be, you need to elevate yourself in order to receive. And by doing mindset work, you do that.
And also, it takes practice to do it.
Yeah.
But food can make a difference. Lack of sleep can make a difference.
Yeah.
Conversations, the people you've been hanging around with.
Oh, big time.
The humidity. If we're going to have a storm, you can feel oppressed.
The energy.
And it's not because you've chosen to. It's just because that's what's happening. And I know that there's people in the group who are kind of not really massively into any of that stuff, but some of you are as woo-woo as it comes, like us, which is great. And both is great, obviously. But these things do happen, and energy is a factor. It's
energy,
just fact.
Yeah, that's what gives you your highs and your lows. That's what makes you feel the way you do. Energy is massive.
So becoming conscious of it, making a note of it, and then when you're in, and finding techniques to deal with it.
Finding techniques to deal with it, yeah. Whatever that is to lift you out of that. So, like I say, it could be, think about what music it is that really, really gets you going.
No matter what.
No matter what. And
moving with it.
And moving.
So it's putting it on and dancing to it like a crazy person. Rather than putting it on and moping. And hoping it's going to help lift you.
Yeah, because it's not going to happen.
And of course, every time you then put that song on and you dance and you act like a crazy person, it makes you laugh. You're anchoring more and more into that song, so that then one day, when you can't shift it and you are moping and you put the song on and you don't want to dance, you can't help but feel good.
Yeah, it's like we were saying yesterday, we have an attachment to music. So when you have a funeral where you've then attached to that, the music that was in that funeral, you instantly go back there and your emotions are attached to that. Equally, you can do it for the opposite way. So that lifts you, and everything is emotional attachment. Again, going back to colour yesterday, if you've got a colour that makes you feel good, put it on, put it all around your house. If you've got colour that really brings you down, I've got a real aversion to green, which we went into a lot of details yesterday, and hopefully you haven't anymore.
I'm sitting here, you're not retching, so it's all good.
Because she's green, actually. Brilliant. No, that's true. But don't have that in front of you. If you've got something, or
if you've got a black thing in front of you and black makes you feel depressed, move it.
Get rid of it. Something a talk I listened to the other day. There's a lady that declutters people's houses. If you've got, for instance, a vase there that was given to you by someone that, whether it's your ex-husband or whether it's somebody you absolutely hate, or as soon as you look at it, you're feeling these overwhelming feelings about it. Why have you got that vase? Get rid of it. My auntie, who was over from Australia, recently told us that she still has a necklace that she was given by, my auntie's 75, by a guy that she went out with in her teens. And she's still, these ideas about these emotional ideas. She's got these pearls in her drawer, and she looks at them now and again. And she just opens them and looks at them. Why has she still got them?
It makes her feel nice.
It makes her feel nice, but she's still upset with him because of what he did to her.
Yeah, that's slightly different.
Yeah.
If it was all positive and it just made her remember her youth in a nice positive way.
It wasn't. He wasn't very nice to her.
What an ass.
Exactly. Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. But we keep things with us sometimes to remind ourselves.
That we're not worthy.
Yeah.
Just a little reminder.
Yeah.
Because remember, when you tell yourself stuff every day, so if you're constantly telling your unconscious mind that you really don't deserve having a good business, that you really, are you sure you deserve that? Then you tell your unconscious mind this, the unconscious mind goes, brilliant.
Yes.
I'm going to find all the ways I can prove to you that you're right, because if you're right, I get brownie points, everybody's a winner. So it will say, see, that person didn't reply to your email, which means you are a failure.
Well, and it's like Facebook likes.
Gold star!
Yeah, exactly.
What else can we do today to prove to you that you're rubbish?
And you take it. And it's like putting your Facebook posts or anything like that out there, your Twitter posts, and you look at it, nobody's liked it. And nobody's shared it, and nobody's commented, and straight away think, nobody's noticing me. I'm not worthy. I can't do this.
Or you're like me, who puts way too much out on Facebook, and then so one of these is how can you get confidence to do Facebook Live? So we've covered that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I put the stuff out, and then I like to kind of pretend. I don't really think about it, I think is the best way. I tend to do it, and then it's like it doesn't exist once it's done. So therefore, when someone says to me, I saw that thing, I get embarrassed.
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
oh no, really? Oh, I don't know why you watch me for. I haven't really got anything to say. But then if you put me, I can't stop blinking talking.
Don't know. I think we're both the same like that, aren't we? But it's just putting yourself.
You just got to do
there.
it anyway.
Yeah, and because no matter, you know, you put a lot of posts out there, you don't put a lot of posts, somebody's actually seen that.
And
Someone
it might
has
make a
seen
massive
that.
change for someone.
It could make massive change. My kids tell me I'm a typical mother on Facebook. I like everything. Well, I like it, so I like it. So what's wrong with that? But not everybody does. They will read it, or they might come back to it. They don't have to it's just a case of making yourself visible. I'm really, really, really passionate about people getting visible and just getting into, if you have got a story to tell that you think other people need to know because it's going to help them, if you've got a business out there that people need to know about, how are they going to know if you're not going to tell them about it? So you need to get into Facebook groups and tell people about it. Facebook is so brilliant for business as long as you're in the right places, you know.
Saying the right things.
Saying
I think
the right
that
things.
comes back to marketing, and it can feel icky because you're doing an icky thing. And I think sometimes there's a great deal of difference, isn't there? If you think, I feel a bit awkward saying this in the group, that's probably because you probably shouldn't be saying it in the group, because it's actually buy my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But in actual fact, and we all do it. I hold my hands up. I definitely do it as well. But there are definitely times when you're feeling it's icky, but you're not doing a salesy post, and that's totally fine. Do that when you're in that zone.
Yeah,
it's intuition in the right way. I'm scared of. Am I scared?
Yes,
because I don't want to push myself out there,
yes.
Or am I feeling icky because actually I know that I'm just going to do a bit of a sales post and actually it's not going to generate
the fact you're feeling icky is
it.
a good thing. If you're not and you're just posting out, I want your money, that's coming from a place of ego, and that isn't so good.
Well, it doesn't do the job, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't lead you where you want to be.
No.
And the more honest you can be, the more open you can be, the more you can share, the more people connect with you. And I know it's just cliche after cliche, but it actually matters.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, we were talking, I bang on, and I'm always talking about it in the group, and you probably get bored of it, is that relationships are so massively important. Connection is so massively important for a happy life, for a happy business. That's what it's. That's where it's at. And yesterday I discovered that part of my colours is all about coming from the heart, creating positive change, and connection. And I was like, oh, that's why it's so important. Yeah. But it really is.
Yeah.
So I think when you do your Facebook Lives and you're doing your promoting, if you can think, how by doing this am I creating a better relationship with my audience, a stronger connection, which means that we will then stop just being a potential passerby. They come in, we're having a chat, we're then more than that.
Yeah.
There's that touch there, there's something that kind of bonds us then, even at a basic level. That's what we should be aiming to do with all of our stuff. And if you're doing that, then you should start to feel more confident by default because you're doing a good thing.
Well, that's right, exactly. And there's no point in being in a Facebook group or if you're not going to contribute to it. If you just sat there, you might like what they do, but unless you're going to take part, you're not going to get to know people, and they're not going to get to know you. So it's just like building a community. And I like to be in 3 or 4 Facebook groups that are relevant to what I do, and you've got to show up consistently every day and take some part in it. I love to put my inspirational posts out there. What did you call them? My memes. I really like to do that, but it's a case of getting involved, to commenting and supporting other people. So then, because they're probably having the same feelings as you, so if you're supporting them,
I think we can safely say anyone you see posting anything on social media has confidence issues.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's a bit of a broad statement. I've never met anyone that hasn't at some point said to me that they either wonder why people follow them, they've got this whole imposter syndrome thing, that they're fearful that they're saying the wrong thing, especially when it's a heartfelt post, which, by the way, are the ones that always get the best engagement. The more honest and authentic you are, the more people sense that is the truth, and then the more they come to you. So it's no one feels even people say I'm confident, and I feel like I'm pretty confident, but I'm still not actually confident. Not really, not deep down. So it's just about going, I'm just going to do it anyway. And the more you do it, the more confident you get, because you just get used to it.
Exactly. Because you've pushed that boundaries and you've up-leveled. And I remember the first Facebook group challenge I went into with my first coach last year, and the first thing we had to do was post what we did. I was like, oh my God, you know, people are going to judge me straight away. And that's not going to sound very good. Yeah, and you look at, so before you put it on there, you look at what everybody else has written. I think, oh, that sounds really good. Mine doesn't sound very good. And then I thought, oh my God, I
make mine sound better?
Yes, I'm just going to do it. And it was like, I did it. And then, you know, and then somebody supported me because we were all in the same boat and we were all going through the same nightmare things, even just writing a few lines on there. And then it was, all right. And then you're encouraged, you know, to maybe do a video or a live. And in the end, I did it. And it was very sort of, oh my God, like this. And, you know, and I'm looking at this. And
everyone's like that when they first go.
I've forgotten what I was going to say. And then once you've done it once, there's only ever one first time. Yeah. So once you've done it once, you can move forward.
And it is the fear of fear.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was in David and Goliath, the book by Malcolm Gladwell, that he talks about fear of fear. And actually that is incapacitating. Oh, completely. Far more than the actual fear. Yeah.
But what are you afraid of? What is the worst thing that's going to happen to you?
That was it. It was to do with, totally off subject completely, to do with the war and the bombings, and it's to do with near misses and the people who were interacting with it. So during the Blitz, when the Germans were bombing, they thought that everyone would flee and London would fall down. But people stayed. Yeah. Because what happened was they either died, in which case they were gone. So harsh,
probably that is the worst thing.
Or they were very close to it, they were injured, or it was right in front of them, in which case those people were traumatised. So they were near misses. Then you had remote misses, which were the people who were just down the road. They heard it, they might have seen the smoke, but it didn't happen to them. And there's a lot of those. And for them, it was an empowering experience because they survived. They survived the scariest thing that they could imagine. So the fear beforehand was what could happen. When it happened, but they lived through it, they got this massive rush because they were like, well, I'm now invincible. So actually one guy was interviewed by the television or whatever and said, are you going to leave? Because everyone's going. He said, what, miss all this? And his house had been bombed 4 times or something. But they'd lived. So therefore they were indestructible. So the fear went away. And all the kids were playing normally. It was like a normal existence. When the air raid things went, they ran and they hid. But that's because the majority of those people were remote misses, which meant that they were more empowered than they had ever been before. Because it was the fear of the fear that was the problem. It wasn't the actual thing. It was what would that be like? I can't imagine. And that's what stops it.
You can also get the guilt though, can't you? The survivor's guilt.
That's for the near misses.
The near misses.
The remote misses are that far enough away that it just is an empowering thing because they then feel, wow, that was so close, but I lived. But the near misses, which is Grenfell Towers, and Debbie, who's in the group, has been down there for the last 5 days helping them, and that's awful. But it's those near misses that it becomes empowering, and it's because when you become close to fear, so I think when you do a Facebook Live for the first time, the fear of doing it is awful. When you do it, you think, holy cow, there's all this huge rush. And then you come down, I know. And then fear, because what people are going to say.
What are people going to say?
And then the comments, and there's all of that, and it's such a
But if you don't do it,
coaster.
then you beat yourself up because you haven't done it.
So you just do it, and it feels okay.
Yeah. Simple.
Basically. But if you're feeling scared of doing Facebook Lives, do it in safe spaces.
Do it
in safe spaces. this is a great group to do it in. Kris has got a group to do it in. You might want to do it somewhere. You could create a group, for example, which just has you in it.
Yeah.
And you could do them in there.
Yeah.
And you could practice.
And practice, yeah. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, do it to your brother, your sister, your mother, whoever. But just do it, because it's in the act of doing that you realise it's not that scary. And then you get more confidence. So we've kind of leapt.
Yes, we have.
Brilliantly.
So
from bipolar emotions. So the bipolar emotions basically become conscious of what you're doing, journal on
identify,
try and figure out what
realise
it is.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
It's your choice to feel like that.
You can wallow in it.
You can wallow it.
Or you can do something else.
Yeah, recognise it, do something about it, move on.
Staying positive. So we've also covered later on, Claire wanted to know about confidence for doing Facebook Lives and things.
Yeah.
Anita, I'm conscious of the time.
Yes.
We've been babbling on, as we do. Staying positive when emotional or tearful and coping with difficult customers. So...
Yes. Well, one thing I would say about difficult customers, the first thing that springs to mind is, are they actually your ideal client? So do you actually want to be dealing with obviously I don't know the situation, but one way of actually working out who your ideal client is working out who you do not want to work with. Mm-hmm. So, and that's eliminates an awful lot.
And it's your choice.
So, and it's your choice. And it's also your choice to be tired out and exhausted. Everything is a choice at the end of the day, and you need to look and examine why you're feeling like that. Why are then you coping with a client that is that you want to slap? That is your choice.
Because you can choose to, because it's when you learn NLP, one of the things you learn is that no one can ever make you feel anything.
That's right.
So whatever you are feeling is your choice to feel it, and it's a head mess, it's a real thing, because you think, well, that's outrageous, because when they said this, it made me feel this way, and you say, well, yes, but that's because that's what you've conditioned yourself to react to. But your choice is there. There's always a choice, even if it's a difficult choice. There's always a choice.
People have got to start, and it's very difficult. We start taking 100% responsibility for your own lives, and that's one of my missions, is to make women realizing that they can take 100% responsibility for their lives. And once you've taken responsibility and realize, and whatever it is that's happened to you, that it's how you've reacted to that has been your responsibility, because then you hold on to that and you keep holding on to that. But once you've made that change, it then has a ripple effect onto other people around you, and you're making change everywhere. So I want to make change globally, and apparently it's in my colours as well, which is awesome. So by the fact that we're doing this today together, we're impacting on you, and you will then impact on other people,
children, other halves,
and it's the energy
customers,
and the ripple effect across. So you need to start showing up and taking 100% responsibility for your life. Everything that you do is down to you.
And your choice.
It's your choice completely.
If someone has made you feel like you want to slap them,
this
happens. This does happen. We're not saying it's easy.
No.
We are not saying that it's easy, but we are saying there is a choice to be made.
Yes.
And you can choose to think, I just want to put my hands around your throat.
It's when you say something like, they made me feel like this.
The green made me do it.
Yeah, the green made me do it. She did. But it's when somebody said, they made me do this. And it's as I heard off my youngest child, it was peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of influences and things, but at the end of the day, you chose yourself to take that action.
And it was usually we go for the easier choice.
Yes, we do.
Because if we're presented with two, and a great example for this is if you really dislike your in-laws and you've got to go around there for a barbecue or whatever it may be, and you say, oh my God, I can't believe I've got to go round there. I don't want to go round there. It's going to be awful. They're going to say this. I'm going to feel terrible. I hate it when we go there. I've got to come. Oh, it's going to ruin my day, etc., etc. So you dwell on all of this stuff, but you go.
You go.
And you go and you do.
Yeah.
And the reason you go is because it's the easier of two choices. So your choice is I stay and I feel happier.
Yes.
But the consequence of that is even more aggravation from the in-laws. Yeah. You've upset your other half. You've upset the grandchildren because your children because you haven't gone and they've gone without you and they don't know what to do. So there's all of this stuff that you don't want to have to deal with.
The
so
negativity.
Although it's a short-term pain, it's a long-term gain. So your choice is the easier one, which is to go, even though you don't want to do it.
Because you want to please other people.
Even though it feels like you're forced into it, you are still choosing to go.
Yeah.
And that's a great example because we face these choices every day.
We do.
Do I tell this person I don't want to work with them anymore because they make me feel bad, or do I just stay because it's the easy choice? And we normally go for the easier choice.
Yeah, and it's a classic thing of not putting yourself first.
Yeah.
And it's
as JP said, if you don't put yourself first, you put yourself last.
Yeah, and so you have to start putting yourself first. And it's when you hear people going on and on and on about the same old things. And my favourite saying, which was said to me years ago, put up or shut up. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So you either put up with it.
But true.
It is, yeah. And you either put up with it and cope with, take responsibility for those feelings and deal with it. Or shut up, just get on with it and shut up about it. You know, it's
because actually talking about it's not going to make it go away.
No, so you have responsibility for putting yourself in a situation. You have responsibility for how you actually feel in your side about that. If it's not serving you, if it's not helping you to be a better person, then why are you doing it?
And if you feel so, in terms of dealing with awkward customers, I think if you're in the situation where that customer's in front of you, you've got to make the decision to say, I choose to do some deep breathing and appreciate that this person has got their own stuff. It's nothing to do with me.
Well, it's
and I'm going to just get through this and then I'm not going to work with them again.
Well, it's thinking about, again, that person you want to be in 3 years' time.
Yeah.
With me, it's I'm in control. And for me, it's being in control. My feelings are not feeling like that. So I'm looking at this person and I'm remembering I'm in control. And so whether they're words are white, it's white noise. Right, yeah, thank you very much, goodbye. Or the fact is, right, I don't want to deal with them anymore.
Yeah.
It's you've got to make those decisions.
Or another one as well is, I think these sorts of situations are perfect for reviewing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Because are they being awkward because you have not done something? So, for example, we had a situation up here the other day where we had some people turn up who were expecting to be able to shoot at the shooting ground. I had put nothing on the flyer about the fact that they could turn up and shoot, and they got really aggressive. They were effing and blinding in the shop. We had to ask them to leave. And I said, this is a good learning thing because clearly I was not clear enough on my marketing materials if they felt that was the case. I thought I'd been clear. Everyone else thought it'd been clear. Yeah. It said, this is an offer for shooters.
But you also haven't got responsibility for how someone else reacts.
No, but at the same time, if you're in business, because it's not personal, if it's business and you're marketing and someone has come to you and they've expected something and you haven't, and you say that's not the case.
Yes.
Then, so again in NLP we were saying, however someone reacts is all on you. You've got to again take responsibility for it because how could you have said it differently so that they could have understood it better? How could you have done something different so that you could have cancelled that out from happening in the first place? So I find awkward customers, although we don't want them, sometimes we get our biggest learning from them to make good changes. That then means that doesn't happen again. Some of them are just plain awkward and we don't want them in our lives.
No, that's right. And you're not responsible for everybody else at the end of the day. The other thing sometimes when you're feeling really uncomfortable about what you're doing every day, it might be the fact that you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And
which we often don't want to hear.
Which you often don't want to hear, and you have to make that change. If it's stopping you moving on, you need to make that change. If you don't, and you're back in the same situation all the time, put up or shut up. You know,
I think a nice nice visualization for that is to really sit down and visualize how you would feel after you've made the decision. Yeah. And if it's a relief, you know that you've got to do it, even though that there's potentially going to be anguish to go through.
Well, exactly. And because I did this a month ago with a business, and I realised it was holding me back, it was taking over my life, and I couldn't concentrate on my coaching. And I made the decision to finish it. And I did. And I contacted people there and then. And it was like a complete weight off. And it meant I could just jump straight into my coaching shoes, and it's just propelled from there. So sometimes you got to do these things.
Sometimes. Yeah, what was Linda saying yesterday, which was, I think she got from Debbie, which was sometimes you have to retreat to move forward.
Move forward, yeah. And sometimes it's two steps forward and one step back, but that's all a learning curve, and it's all up leveling, and you have to keep up leveling. You have to move forward.
Well, if you're not moving forward, you're moving back.
Exactly.
It's just the law of gravity.
Yeah, that's right. It goes up, comes down.
Yeah. It's like you have to redecorate a room. You've got to take everything out.
Yeah.
Before you can put it back how you want it. Sometimes you just got to get rid and then start from scratch. So, when you're emotional and tearful, I think we've covered all of that basically, because it's journaling, gratitude, becoming conscious of your emotions. When and why are you feeling that way? Is it because you've eaten something? Is it because you've had no sleep? Is it because you're allowing customers to make you feel bad?
You maybe shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Yeah, so we've kind of covered that one. Pressure, we're going to speed up because we're going to have to go to lunch shortly.
Yes.
And also, you probably don't want to listen to us for any more. Pressure from your other half to get a job. You've got a short, sharp answer to that, haven't you?
Well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say it, to be honest. But at the end of the day, you live your life. You're not. I can read from here now because that's what you said is coming into my head. But so you have to fulfill your purpose, your life purpose, not your other halves. And you need to see what it is that you want to be doing. So again, if you're not fulfilling everything you need to do at the moment, and you're also questioning maybe he's right, or maybe questioning what you're doing, maybe you need to go back to the beginning and start and just go through it exactly as if you are doing what you want to be doing, but go look forward again 3 years time and work out your perfect life, what it is you actually want to be doing. And that is what counts. Put yourself in the point of pleasure and put yourself there and look backwards to see what it is that got you there. I was a great one for, oh God, this isn't right, I'm going jumping and working for somebody else, and
it's
within no time, and because it was an easy answer, but because
generate 5 figures in 5 minutes through this amazing one sheet piece of paper.
Exactly. So are you actually aligned with your life purpose? Are all the ducks in the row to get where you want to be? But you're living your life, not somebody else's.
And reviewing, isn't it? If actually money is an issue, because for some people it will genuinely be an issue, and their husband will be saying, look, we cannot survive on mine alone.
Yes.
You have to do something that means we have more money coming in. So your choice then, again, going back to choice, is...
But why should it be? It's always on the woman, isn't it? That's the thing.
Well, if he was earning 20 grand and she was earning 5 and you needed 30 to survive...
So you need to
then she has to be doing that. So the choice is go to employed work and make sure you've got that money coming in, which takes the pressure off and allows you to grow your business on the side, which is doable.
Yeah.
Or how can you really seriously look at your business? Am I doing a hobby?
Yes.
Am I running a business? Because many people start a business thinking it's going to be reasonably easy. Even people who have been massively successful in corporate, and they fail because they don't realise that you really have to take it seriously as a thing. You have to work hard at it, but you have to be strategic. It's not about working really, really hard.
No, it's not.
It's about doing the right thing.
It's about doing the right thing.
And you don't necessarily know what that is.
No, exactly. So if you seem to be working all the hours and not getting anywhere, you need to go back and look at is what you're actually doing is what you want to be doing.
Can it give you the income you need? Because not everything can.
No, and my answer is, in one respect, is you do what it takes. If you want to get somewhere, you do what it takes. But obviously, the ultimate thing is what is right for you at the end of the day. So if you're not generating an income that's enough, you've got to look at why. One, is it the right thing for you? 2, what else can you do to generate more income? Yeah. If you take that choice, the other choice, and go to work for somebody else, how is that going to make you feel?
How will it impact your relationship?
How it will impact your relationship?
Because if you do that and you feel forced
Yes.
then that could break the relationship.
You're going to feel bitter.
So what you say to him is, if I go back to work, I'm going to leave you.
Yeah.
If you make me do it.
She said it, not me. But no, you've got to look at all the
Embrace
options.
the inner feminist and go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, on your bike. But you've got to, and I've done it myself. But it solved an issue.
Yeah.
And then straight away I'm thinking about, but I could actually do this better for myself.
Yeah.
And so you need to have a way, so it's planning, and you need to go back to, what am I doing? Is it what I should be doing? If it is and everything feels great about it, how can I generate more income? What are the opportunities that are in front of you to get you to your 3-year plan? Is it, and I don't know what this lady does, but is it the fact, so for me, for coaching, is it that am I actually showing up visible? Am I going to network events, meeting people?
Am I doing what I need to do
am I
to
doing
get
what
those
I need
sales?
to do? Am I speaking? Am I, whatever it is.
Have I phoned somebody who's shown
the
an interest
follow-ups.
and actually sold them? Which you might not want to, because it might be scary.
Yeah.
But if you haven't done it and you're leaving that on the table,
don't complain. Do it.
Yeah. Even though it feels uncomfortable.
And that's another thing came up the other day. Somebody spoke to me. She said, "Well, I haven't done follow-ups from different things." Well, do them. And the thing is, very often you know the answer, but it takes somebody to tell you to do it. So that's what I do.
And also, you get stuck in the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, "Holy moly, I need that money now."
Yeah.
What can I do right now? It doesn't have to be my big picture. It can be, what do I just need to do right now that's going to generate that?
Yeah.
That's going to get me where I need to go, and preferably would lead into whatever I want to do.
So do what it takes. So you can find the shortest time to generate the quickest.
Because some people start coaching as a great example, and they say, I'm going to do high-end packages.
Yeah.
And they've never done any coaching in their life, and they want to get people to pay them 20 grand a day.
Yeah.
Or for a year or whatever.
Yeah.
And they've got no following, no anything. It's doable, but it's very hard.
It is doable. It's completely doable. But their mindset would be perfect.
Yeah.
Well, whatever your mindset.
But often they don't. They just think that that's doable. But they don't have any skills to get there. So they just sit there thinking, because I've said it, and I've opened up to the universe,
that's the wrong sort of,
that it's going to come to me. And then they think, I've got no money.
Yeah.
Why have I not got any 20 grand clients?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, have you ever had any £500 clients yet?
Yeah.
No, well, why don't we start there?
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's breaking it into
'Cause you
chunks.
can.
It's breaking it into chunks and getting from A to B. But, I mean, you have... I like people to dream big. I like to have big goals. But fine, but let's make a plan to get there.
If you're going up a ladder and you take all the rungs out, but the bottom one and the top one, you're going to really struggle to get to the top.
Perfect,
You've got to kind of monkey your way up.
Yeah.
But if you've got rungs, then you can put one hand, one foot, and you can get up that ladder step by step.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a new one.
That's a good one.
I
like that. Oh, you can throw yourself a rope at the top and resume it.
Ah, there you go.
That's my
SAS.
That's my red bit.
Like James Bond with a clip-on thing.
Yes.
Up to the top.
Everything is possible.
Yeah, if you've got the right team behind you to
give
you the
team.
gear.
Exactly.
If you've got Q or whatever he's called in the thing, who gives him the
all the
gadgets.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which would be
together.
a coach.
Which is the rose, which is me.
Ta-da!
God, I think we've gone on.
So we've got to be finishing. But the Claire, quickly, she said, how do you get in the right mindset for creating, to rebrand as yourself, which falls back into the confidence with the Facebook Lives and stuff.
Yeah.
Certainly, having done this myself, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Have done this. Are doing this at the moment. I think still. I think I don't think you ever stop doing it. To be fair, once you start,
the only way you can get into the right mindset is by actively doing stuff for your mindset. So it's whether it's meditation, affirmations, visualizations, gratitudes, whatever it is for that you need to keep reminding yourself every day that you can do things.
So positive people who remind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course you can. Don't be ridiculous.
You're
mega.
Yeah. Well, look yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, you're
and
amazing.
Tell yourself.
Yeah.
The first thing I do when I get out of bed in the morning is that I believe in myself. That's what I say to myself. I believe in myself. And you make it feel good, even if that day you're not feeling good, have that excitement, draw on that wonderful feeling that of whatever memory it was that made you feel really good, put that in. I believe in myself. It changes everything.
And I think if you were, for example, rebranding yourself and you were going into a group meeting and you were doing talking or something, so it's quite scary, you could just stop focusing. There was a lovely visualization. So when we did, again, coming back to another, one of the things we did to do with anchoring, so you could anchor with this, with a song, with a movement, with a feeling, all of this stuff. And you created this little bubble, which was like a spotlight, if you will. So you're standing in a spotlight and you're feeling all of these amazing feelings, which gives you the confidence. This is what speakers do, this is what athletes do, they all do this stuff. So you anchor in that, but what you do then is, this is your safe space. But what you do is, if you're in an audience, you like speaking, you would expand your bubble. Yeah. So everyone is in this safe space with you. So therefore, they then feel safe. And if you are just working to change and impact one person in one tiny way, instead of trying to help everyone, then that takes the pressure off. If I can help one person,
you've made
with one thing that I've said, then that's exactly what I'm working for.
Definitely. And it's the visualization. If you visualize the whole event taking place as you want it and keep doing that, it will happen.
And I think as you rebrand as yourself, it is one of those things, you just got to feel the fear and do it anyway. Yeah. Because there will be fear. There will be fear of judgment. There will be fear of success and failure.
Things will be coming up.
All again, your stuff.
Journal on that. Why are you feeling like that? You know, and if you can realize why, put it there, move on. But if you're not going to feel fear, if you're not scared, then you have no value on it. Yeah. So you're actually, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
To feel like that. If people are starting a program with me and they say, how are you feeling? Oh yeah, really good about this. And I think, right, okay, that's fine. Are you a bit nervous or anything? You know, you realise I'm going to get you to
I'm going to be trying to make you feel uncomfortable.
Yes. and it's oh yeah, that's fine. But they're the ones that then don't show up, and because they actually haven't faced their fears.
Yeah.
So
yesterday I had to make a decision. Didn't have to make a decision.
No, didn't have to.
Part of the thing we had to do, we did decision making. Now I could have chose something really simple, like should we or should we not get curtains for the lounge? Yes. It could have been a really nice simple decision. I didn't choose that, and I'll be sharing with you my decision soon once I've integrated exactly what it was, because it was a massive decision for me. It's one that's been on my mind for a few weeks, and it's really, really big. It's like proper big, and I was in deep uncomfort. I was going,
you were.
Not feeling very happy at all. Yeah. And I think you've just got to do it anyway, because it was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
and I knew that actually forcing myself into that situation where I had to choose was the best thing for me to do, because I was in a supportive space to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
And even though having people watching made it even worse.
Yeah.
It felt awful, but I knew that if I didn't do that, I would put it off and off and
you're not going to move forward.
And it could be in 6 months' time I'd still saying the same thing, still struggling.
Yeah.
And I think, although it's still my choice whether I action that, it feels like a weight has been lifted,
but
because
the
I've taken
decision actually
action.
was one that you thought it was going to be anyway.
I know, but I was fearful of whichever one it was going to be.
Yeah, but you know it's the right, don't you?
Yeah. I do. So all of us feel fear, and with personal branding it's no different. I think it's definitely you feel fear when you do your own business name, don't you? Because it's your baby.
How are you going to show up?
When it's you as a brand, it's all about you.
Yeah.
And there will be no point in your brand journey where you don't feel conscious at some point, because ultimately you're being you. And I think when you rebrand as yourself, you then have to get a real clear picture of who you are and what that means.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of self-development through that.
A lot of self-development, and it is something. And again, another thing we don't do is put, like I said about putting ourselves first, but it's also the self-care, which is, get whatever that is for you, is doing something of that every day. And as women, we don't. We put everybody else in front of us first, and we forget about ourselves, and then we get annoyed with it that we haven't done that. So whatever that is to you, schedule it, Put it in your planner. Put it in your phone to remind you. My phone, Google Calendar, is full of all sorts of reminders. Even if it's down to drinking a couple of litres of water a day, stick it in, because your mind goes off something else and you don't get it done. So look after yourself. Do your self-development. And
get a support team as well.
Get a support team.
Because I think when you rebrand as yourself, when you do anything that is you, and you're really putting that out there into the world, because of our tendency to self-sabotage, to be masochists, we need someone who's got our back.
That's
who
right.
just reminds us, who is at the end of the phone, at the end of a Facebook post, whatever it is, to say, I love you, you're doing an amazing job, you're inspiring me,
to kick up the arse.
Keep going, or stop being such a wuss, just go.
Well, that's right, and this is why I took a coach to begin with. And I believe I will always need a coach.
And I think that it's different from your other half, it's different from your children.
Different.
It's someone who knows what you're going through.
Yeah, exactly, they've been there and done it.
So when they say, of course you can do it, you believe them. So that then helps reinforce your mindset, which you're trying to create.
Or if it's a case of, well, why aren't you doing it? Right, you've already.
So you said you were going to do this by now.
And what's happened?
Why haven't you done that then? That's a rubbish excuse.
And it's generally.
And you know it.
Well, I'm afraid this is going to happen. I'm afraid that's going to happen. So you're already afraid of what hasn't actually happened yet. So if you don't try, you never know. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So look at why it didn't work and do it again.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Then work back from there. Because
exactly.
if you know what that could be and what the fear is, and you come back from there, then it's not scary anymore, is it?
No.
Because you know what would happen. Well, I'd have to shut the business, okay, and then what would happen? Well, I'd get a job. And is that doable? Okay, so what are we worried
exactly.
about?
Exactly.
Could you then start again?
Exactly.
Would in 3 months no one remember what you did before? No one would remember.
And if somebody comes up to remind you, oh, well, you don't need them in your life,
Have you ever met anyone that has done something different? So when you met them at a networking meeting 10 years ago, were they doing the same thing? Have you ever met anyone where they've then said, oh, actually, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm doing this? And did you think, oh my God, I hate you? Or did you think, oh, well, that's interesting?
Yeah, exactly. And I have actually in the past been criticised because, commented, oh, what are you doing now?
Yeah, I get that.
And that was a big when I was going into the coaching, it was, what are you doing now? And I was critical of myself then, thinking, what are people going to think? I'm going to get that response again. But you know what? I've added so many tools in my life, the different things I've done, helping to get me to this point, so I can now help others. And that's the way.
And when someone says that, you say, do you know what? I'm doing something amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let me tell you about it.
Yeah. Why aren't you?
Yeah.
If it doesn't feel good, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And they're stressed about this and stressed about that.
I'm really interested as to why you asked me that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Tell me what's happening
I can help you.
Let me flip that back round on you.
Exactly. So
right, well, we talked for an hour, just over.
And we didn't have a cup of coffee. We could have had a cup of coffee.
Oh my God! How did we make that happen? Well,
so commit to comfort and pleasure. Be comfortable to where you're heading. Elevate yourself in order to receive, and it'll happen.
There you go. We can end it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
If you've got any questions,
yes.
Obviously, we were navigating around an interesting path with every question there. But I think we covered some really good stuff. If you've got any questions, pop it in the comments below and we will do our best to answer them at some point. We're now off to have lunch.
Yes.
Which is very important. Some networking.
And networking lunch, yes.
Business. All about the networking.
Yes, exactly.
Cake.
And the cake that she made.
I did. Very healthy, more vegan.
Very good.
So sanctimonious. As I'm eating a chocolate brownie alongside it.
Brilliant.
That'll be it.
Brilliant.
See you later, folks.
Okay, bye.